I don't think we're going to talk Padres-Dodgers today. Besides this.
Kike Hernandez pitching again?
Oh, we are going to talk about that.
I'm like, we have to talk about Kike Hernandez.
We are.
Pitching, who seems like he pitches more than some of the pitchers.
He's their long man. We'll get to that.
You mean their starters? More than their starters?
Yeah.
I mean, he went 2 1/3 yesterday.
Hold up. I want to save that.
Okay.
Let me ask you something else because I'm super curious. This is the inside baseball stuff. There's going to be game 3, Giants-Padres. But after game 1, when the Dodgers won, they asked Will Smith about the magnitude of the game and just like the intensity, all that kind of stuff, right? And he said it felt like another game in June. Is that real? Or do you just say that because you don't want to start anything and you don't want to give the Padres any credit? Is that like
I think that's Dodger talk.
Okay.
To me, that's Dodger talk because they don't want to give them any credit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Muncy said they're not their rivals. And that got a lot of attention.
Oof. Yeah.
I saw that clip because all over the place.
I think that what he meant was the Padres aren't their rival. Again, you're not a rival unless you, I don't know. You have to have some history there. You have to beat them. Now, the Padres did beat them in the playoffs a couple years ago. But the Padres have never won a World Series. The Dodgers are chasing World Series.
So what?
The Dodgers-Giants, though, is the real one. Now, the Padres fans don't think so. But if you ask Dodger fans, they're going to say Giants all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Will Smith was maybe capping a little bit just because that stadium was rocking. It couldn't have felt like any other game. It couldn't have felt, yes, maybe his preparation, maybe everything going into the game. You can't think of it as a bigger deal than what it is. That stadium was rocking. Go back to watch the video of game 1 of that series. It could not have felt like any other game.
Sorry, all I heard was capping.
Yeah. So
does your kid say no cap?
No cap. Zone.
Your kids say no cap?
They used to, like 3 years ago. They've kind of outgrown that.
I never even. So I don't have kids.
They did a couple years. They bussin', no cap. That whole era. That was like a year or two.
I try to use the words so that they stop using them. Because when I say it sounds cringy. I'm just saying it's like an off. Like right now, I'm into saying glazing.
I didn't realize that was his game, but that actually makes sense.
It does work though, especially on your children.
If you speak their
mostly
language.
on my children. Yeah.
Or
as soon as you start saying it, they're like, "Well, it's not cool anymore," so I'm going to stop. Because they try to have their own language. My daughter speaks her own language.
She has crazy.
And there are times where I'm like, "Can you just speak regular language, please?" She'll drop a boy on me, like boy, and I'm like, so I go back at her. I'm like, "Okay, boy." Or bruh. She drops a bruh. B-R-U-H. Bruh.
Instead of dad, she'll be like, boy.
Yeah. I mean, it's in text and she doesn't do that. But I get it.
Yeah.
And, she's trying to be like cute and funny.
Yeah.
But there's times where I'm fire back like, oh, boy. Really, boy? Or bruh? She drops the B-R-U-H. Bruh.
Yeah,
B-R-U-H. And I'm like, bruh. So, whatever.
So take that. 20 and under, we just murdered so many of your favorite words.
Yeah.
Let's charge the mound, boy.
Let's charge the mound.
Where are we at on the Reds? We haven't talked about them much. Did you see the lefty Andrew Abbott dominate the Cleveland Guardians? Which we can talk about that side of the story too. But a 3-hitter, a shutout, a 1.87 ERA. Wow, is he at a 1.87?
1.87.
Can't say it in the other words, so we got to make up words.
Right.
Andrew Abbott's
dealing.
I
think he's had one bad start.
Yep.
He had one bad start this year. You want to know why we don't talk about the Reds? Because they're in 4th place. I know they're 35 and 33. They've been playing really well. They've won 5 in a row, but we haven't really talked about them because they've kind of been irrelevant up until this 5-game winning streak. But they're still in 4th place. Do we think they're better? I know Kratz does because he picked them to win the division, but do we think they're better than the Cubs right now?
No. But do we think they're better than the Brewers or Cardinals?
Oh, look at your power rankings.
No.
No.
You had to put the Cardinals in there. You needed to put the Cardinals in there. I was huge on the Reds earlier in the year. I was huge on them. I thought they made the strides. The starting pitchers made the strides. I thought Lodolo was going to be off of that foot thing that he had bothering him last year, and now he's had a full off season. Abbott's been good. Obviously, I didn't think he was going to be this good. Hunter Green's going to be elite, and I thought this starting lineup was just going to play every single day, and they were going to mash Friedel, Fraley, Ellie, Stevenson behind the dish. You had Encarnacion Strand. Like, I thought this team was just going to mash, and they haven't. They've just been mid, bruh.
True.
You know who hasn't taken a step forward?
Ellie.
No, he's actually kind of taking steps backwards.
Yeah, not performing like a superstar.
No.
Performing like
but
a
there's
good
been
player.
a bunch of them that have him. McLean's coming off the injury, but you can throw a bunch of these guys. You know, they call him CES, Encarnacion Strand, McLean. I mean, what was the third baseman that got popped for roids?
Noel V. Marte.
Marte. He hasn't taken the next step, right? There's been a lot of them. Friedel. Singer's been okay for him, right? They get rid of India and go get Singer. Like, there's a lot of these guys that haven't taken the next step. Now, I think we all assume that because Tito took over from David Bell, that he would help them take the next step, but he hasn't. Their pitching's been, I think, better than we all expected. It's just that they haven't scored a lot of runs. We thought they'd score a lot. Didn't we all think they'd score a lot of runs?
That's why I had them. That's why I had them winning the division, because I thought the Cubs lineup was going to be very top heavy and meh after about the fifth spot in the order. But they're banging. Obviously, Kyle Tucker, a superstar in the middle of the order, really does help. But the other day I watched the Reds game, Matt McLean was hitting ninth. I get it. Like, his shoulder surgery was a big deal, and I've never had any shoulder issues, but guys that have had shoulder issues, your swing just feels weak. So I don't know if he's going through that, but this was a dude that I thought should have been an all-star 2 years ago that, yeah, he came back from the surgery. I guess I expected too much of him too early, and he's found himself into the 9 spot every once in a while.
Yeah, can we let him come back from a shoulder injury, though?
Bless you.
Bless you.
By the way, I know that Scott cares about this. No one else does. Their expected win-loss is 39-29.
Wow. 39-29. Based on, you guys got to give me more now when you're saying.
Based on, I don't know, it just says XWL, which means expected wins and losses.
Okay, that's.
Because I think it's because their run differential is plus 42.
That's pretty
good. So they're
good.
expected to be 10 games over, and instead they're only 2 games over. Maybe bad managing. Just kidding. Not Tito. Yeah. Not Tito.
They didn't have a closer either. I mean, they didn't have a closer either. There's other expected win-loss totals. There's other things that go into it. It's not just run differential. And
well, most of these are pretty close. Most, except for the Braves. The Braves are an outlier. But most of them are pretty close.
Do you think they can make a run?
Who?
The Reds?
Yeah.
There's going to be a few teams that make a run.
Yeah, there's going to be some teams that make a run. Do I think they can? If their pitchers stay healthy, I think they can. If they figure out the bullpen, I think they can. But they got to swing the bat. You got to get Ellie to get going. You got to get him to be what he was, what we think he can be. And that's a lot of pressure to put on one guy.
How long will I say the Reds are going to finish above the Cardinals? Like, how long do I not buy into the Cardinals lineup, the fact that their starting rotation has Sonny Gray, and I think their second best starter comes out of their bullpen in McGreevy. I guess he's starting now some, but like I felt like this team is built better than what the Cardinals are, but the Cardinals have been outplaying them. I mean, they've come back to, they've gotten closer. The Reds have gotten closer, but when it takes a 5-game winning streak to just get closer, that's kind of like a facade. You're looking at it and you're like, I don't know. Like, I get it. You're hot right now, but now you have to keep staying hot to even climb ahead of those teams.
They're only a game and a half away from St. Louis. And
Yeah,
it's
they're
After a
June 11th.
5-game winning streak.
Sure. But they're right there. Also, Matthew Liberatore and Andre Palante would like a word, only because they were just on Katie Woo's Cardinal territory as guests together.
How much do we believe in this?
Yeah. Go ahead.
How much do we believe in this expected wins and losses, though?
Nothing. I don't.
Because most of them are pretty close.
I don't give a crap.
Tigers is right on the number. Twins is 1 game off. Now the Guardians are way off because their run differential is terrible.
It is.
But their expected is 30 and 36 or 34 and 32. The Royals are a little bit better, but then the rest of them you look at. The Yankees are right. Most of these are a game or two, and then you look at the Braves. The Braves are 10 games under, and they're expected to be over 500. So that it's just fluky. I think fluky wins and losses, but I don't know. I've never really looked at it that deep, but here we are.
Schedule coming up for the Reds is not easy for a while. After this finisher of the Cleveland series, they're at Detroit, home against Minnesota, at St. Louis, home against the Yankees, home against the Padres, at Boston, at Philly.
Gets real.
That's a tough stretch. Then they have the you must win them all gauntlet of 4 against Miami and 3 against Colorado in a row.
You got to win 6
right up to the All-Star break. But before that, that's tough.
Right before the trade deadline. Give them false hope with a nice 7-game win streak. They'll climb within 3 out, and everyone's like, the Reds are going to go for it. They're trading Nola Marte.
Cardinals have a much easier schedule versus them over the next month. So that's a thing.
It is a thing.
Much more than expected.
It is a thing. That's the Giants,
wins.
how they were down 5-2 last night and won 6-5 in the ninth.
I watched most of that game because I bet on it. I was like, I'm going to give the Rockies some time. We're going to talk about the Giants soon, too, because they deserve some attention. But let's finish with this.
That was a value pick.
Yes. Andrew Abbott, Cy Young contender.
Right now, yes. He has to be in the conversation. National League is probably a little bit more open than the American League.
Yes, definitely.
Right? I mean, Sale's making a case now. He started off a little rough, but his numbers are stupid good the last 7 starts or whatever it is. I mean, I'm trying to think who else is in the National League. Abbott, obviously.
Yamamoto.
Wheeler,
but do we think that they're going to give Yamamoto 30 starts? No. He's at 13. Do we think Yamamoto's
Wheeler's the one.
30?
Wheeler's the one if he stays healthy that it's almost like a legacy award for him. Like he should have probably won it in a couple years past. But if Andrew Abbott it's just hard when you're in Philly and you're doing what Wheeler's done and you're Andrew Abbott in Cincinnati. I mean, I know it shouldn't matter, but it does a little bit.
You want me to give you ERAs for the National League, just like the top 5 or something like that?
On a cop.
Yeah. Want me to give you the top 5? We are missing someone. His innings are a little lower than the rest, but that fans will. Well, there's actually a couple at the top, the 2 top ERAs. So number 1 in the National League right now for qualified starters is Kodai Senga, but he's at 68 innings. Number 2 on this list has 91 innings.
Skeens?
Paul Skeens has a 1.88 ERA. He's the front runner right now, right?
It's his right now. Has to be his right now.
He is.
It has to be
dialing up innings for them. And I was on a show this morning.
Here's the thing: like it used to be a wins thing. DeGrom kind of broke that model.
Yeah, that's done.
No,
and Felix.
Felix
Hernandez.
Felix and DeGrom both kind of broke that model.
There was a pitcher named Felix Hernandez who didn't get a lot of wins because he was on crappy Mariners teams. Go ahead.
Gosh, it was awful when you saw you were having to face Felix, and it was a day game. You're like, oh, we got no chance. We got no chance. In Seattle, day game, you're like, oh boy. Please let me have that day off, Ozzy. Thank you.
Stupid starters. Yeah. Stupid starters.
So there's good names here, guys. Real quick, let me give you – because I think there's a pretty distinct top 10. Wheeler's at a 2.85 ERA, so he's a little – I mean, Sale's at 2.79. Freddie Peralta's at 2.69. And obviously they're going to weigh ballpark factor and some other things. Logan Webb's 2.58. Robbie Ray, 2.44. Yamamoto 2.20, and then you've got the Kodai and Skeens sub 2 ERAs. There's good competition there.
There is. It's just not the names other than Skeens and Wheeler and Sale. You know, it's not the names of Skubal and Hunter Brown and some other guys in the American League. For me.
Why is Abbott not on here? Is he not qualified?
He must not have to be qualified.
16,
was he a start short?
2 starts short. I mean, he's 2 starts shorter than everybody else besides Yamamoto. He's just a Friday night guy for UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA is pretty good though. That's the UCLA we're talking about. Anyway, let's get to Better Than Box Scores next. We'll actually unveil a new segment with one of the three people you're looking at on the screen. Kratz, you look different today. Do I see chubby shorts on your shoulder?
Oh, the sick design. I mean, don't even get it twisted too, because the lining normally is like an SOS pad. This lining that's in the center is so soft, so smooth. The outside, so many things to choose from on chubbyshorts.com.
Facts. And the code FOUL for 20% off. I got the Tiger Sharks.
Ooh-wee.
Little blend of a tiger and a shark. It's beautiful. So don't wait. For a very limited time, shop Chubby's biggest sale of the year, $45 shorts and up to 65% off select gear. Hit up chubbyshorts.com and grab your favorites before they're gone. If you miss the sale, then use the FT code, FOUL in lowercase for 20% off. Support FT, let them know we sent you when the survey asks, and get ready to turn some heads. Summer's here. Dress like it in Chubby's. Cal Raleigh and CB Bucknor were having a inspirational conversation last night about warm-up pitches. Way to waste our time, CB.
I just don't understand. Isn't it all about the time in between innings? And why does it matter
is.
if you could throw 20 in that, what is it, minute and 45? You throw 20, it used to be only 8, and the umpires used to count them. He'd be like, he needs one more. It was a long inning. Give me one more. And he'd be, okay. Now it's all about the time. Why does it matter how many throws?
I don't know. I just when the arguments go on for minutes and minutes over something that's about waste or preserving time, I don't know. That just.
But you can't start anyways. So here's what people don't understand. Like if the pitcher's ready in 8 pitches and there's still 45 seconds on the clock, they can't start because the TV has to come back. Right? You know this doing games.
Yes.
They'll count down in your ear. All right, we're back in 20 seconds. And then when they get 10, they're like, or 5 seconds or whatever the number, depending on what your producer says, they'll be like 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, we're back. Boom. And you look up and sometimes there's seconds left on the clock. Mm-hmm. But you can't, I think you have to be within 10 seconds-ish. Sometimes it's 0. A lot of times 0.
How many times have you called a game where you see on the field everyone just frozen, pausing, waiting for TV? It's just a thing.
It is what it is, but there's also how many times have I been sitting there watching the game and the pitcher's in his windup when the clock hits 0 and we barely catch that pitch back.
That is true too.
That also happens.
Oh, CB.
Kratz on the case.
All right, Kratz, 2.5 years in, you got your own segment, and you're going to talk about the number 1 team on your power rankings. Give us everything you've got.
I feel like I've made it. I feel like it feels like a call up. But my thing is, like, as a guy who doesn't have any hair, I notice other people's hair. Okay, so if we go to last night, I'm watching the Mets-Nats game. Tremendous over that hit, by the way. But also, when you have a cool haircut, sometimes it's for the boys, and sometimes I just wonder what Starling Marte was doing. McNeil came up, first pitch, hits the walk-off, drives in Angel Acuna, and we don't see Starling Marte here yet. Okay, we see a not a nice hair. Uh-oh, there's Starling. What does he have going on back there? Now, I know my boy Starling's bald. What you didn't notice there was he has 3 lines in the back. So when the barber comes in, they ask you, what do you want? What do you want with your hair? When you're bald, you really don't got a lot going on. I mean, you don't got a lot going on. Like there's not too much. But you know what? When the team needs a pick-me-up, when you need a couple hits, you go for some kind of crazy haircut. And if we go to the picture of me now, 2014, this is the only picture available to me. Now, clearly I do not have hair. I have a shaved head normally. And the guys are like, man, we need something. They said, will you grow out the bangs if we start winning? I said, sure. So I grew out what bangs I had. Well, I didn't have bangs, and I grew it out. And they go, well, we're winning. We actually took over the Tigers. We were in first place for a little bit. And they go, all right, now we got it, because everybody on the team was young. And they were like, we got to give you a faux hawk. So what you don't, I wish you had a full tour of my head there. I had a hard part line in it, and it came back down to a triangle in the back. And it had 3 lines at one point. Then we won 5 in a row. It had 5 lines in the back. Anything for the boys. But I had to check out my guy Starling Marte. And once we get a Met back on again, I got to ask, like, was he trying to pull it off, or was this a joke with the boys? Because if it was a joke, that is well done.
So got lost in Reddit for a little when you brought this to my attention. One person brought up helmet padding in the back.
No, I've seen people that have had this hair like this before.
Football players.
Antonio Brown, didn't he used to have this?
NFL players would do it, but I thought it was for the helmet.
Oh,
Make the helmet more
I have
comfy.
all my hairs. I don't know what.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some religions that have hair like that. Maybe it's a religious thing. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
When I played
hair, I don't know, because everyone has their own thing. I don't know.
Right.
We can still comment on it.
It was unique.
What did
When
you
I
think
was
of Kratz's hair on that picture?
Hmm?
What did you think of Kratz's hair on that picture?
He needs to grow it back out.
There you go, Kratz.
We get 300,000 followers on YouTube. I'll grow it back out.
That's going to happen soon.
We're only 89,000 away. It's
Yeah.
not that many.
That's going to happen in a few months. So can't wait. Playoff hair is coming for Kratz. All right, give us more then on the Mets. All right, that was Mets had a walk-off win. Their second best record in baseball now, a half game behind the first place Tigers in all of baseball. They're 25-7 at home. They got a little Jeff McNeil walk-off. And you noticed something else going on in yesterday's game that I did not. I mean, I was watching a number of games, didn't give them as much love yesterday as some others, but a little friendly back and forth.
I mean, one of the guys that should be, in an NL Cy Young candidacy at some point, dealing. Soto's like, nah. He was taking some tremendous pitches. He's starting to get that swag. We talked about it. And then right before that pitch, right there, he fouls off. He's like, yep, I got you. And then he does it again. Oh, I didn't realize it was back-to-back. I forgot it was back-to-back. And then he goes, Oppo. And he leaned on it like he knew it wouldn't have been out of the old City Field until they moved the fences in. He goes around first. He goes around second. He goes around third. Has some words with the catcher. I mean, I don't know that MacKenzie Gore had any beef with them. Clearly, they never played with each other because they got traded for each other. But Soto's starting to get that swag back. I was surprised. MacKenzie Gore seems like he is a fiery dude. Last year, he yelled at one of his teammates when they made an error. And usually those dudes, they don't even waste time. They get Alonso one right in the ribs. But you know what? He didn't. We'll see where it goes from here.
I can't believe he didn't get smoked. He's done – listen, we've all done stuff, and as someone that's been thrown out a lot, like I know what it takes to get thrown at. Now, times have changed. I get that a lot. But, like, what was the deal? Like, what's he staring? Like, so here's my thing. Like, I think Keibert Ruiz was catching. As soon as he touches home – like, before he touches home plate, I'm like, why are you looking at my pitcher, bro? What did he do? Josh Donaldson and I got into it one time. And he fouled a pitch off, and he stared at you, Darvish. And I walked in front of the plate, and I was said, what are you doing? Because he's, like, staring him down. I go, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to find his release point. I'm like, no. I like that you ain't. Right? Like, no. Like you foul a pitch off. Like, listen, you know what he did? He set him up. He threw 2 heaters by him, and he got the breaking ball, and he hit it out. He set him up, and they fell for it. He was throwing heaters by him. He had no chance on these heaters. He had no chance on any of these heaters. Watch, right here. That's late. Okay, next one, guess what? He's late again. He stares at him. He's like, yeah, throw me one more. I'm going to get it. And then Gore and Ruiz fell into the trap. Threw him a slider, and he hits it out.
That's brilliant.
He set him up.
He played him.
That's what I'm saying. They fell right into the trap. The rat took the cheese.
That's brilliant.
But again, if I'm Gore, I don't know, man. Like, listen, I don't encourage people to throw at people, but like, there's got to be a point where like Ruiz, when Soto comes up, like, what were you looking at, man?
Have you noticed we've had none of that this year?
We don't have any of that anymore in baseball, which is fine. I get it. It's the way the game's played now. You can do whatever you want now, and you know, but sometimes people get upset. But we frown upon the guys that get upset, but we don't frown upon, which is fine. That's the way the game's played. And listen, I'm a guy that was always for bat flips and emotion. I still am, right? But listen, back in the day, you look at a pitcher like that, guess what? Whack. And the best way to get him, you don't hit Soto. You know who you hit? You hit Alonso. You hit Lindor. And you say, that was for him. And then you get that guy mad at that guy. You don't hit the guy who did it. You hit the other guy. And then you say, that was for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy is pissed at that guy. That's how you clean it up. It's not like teams used to throw at me for stuff guys are doing. I did plenty of stuff, but they'd hit me. And I'd be like, good. If you're hitting at me, you ain't hitting our good players. If you're throwing it at me, you ain't throwing at Canerco or Dye or Quentin or Torii Hunter or Barry Bonds. You're throwing it at me. Like, I'll take the base because I don't walk, so I need to get hit to get my OBP up. Right? But remember Dimitri Young? Dimitri Young got hit that time, and he wasn't mad at the pitcher. He started fighting his own team because he got hit for another dude. And he was like, that's on you, and I'm going to fight you. Which, listen, you want to get a team pissed off? Don't hit the guy. Because, like, if you throw at Soto right there, you just yell as a team. You're like, you couldn't get him out, so you hit him. Like, no. But you hit Lindor? Lindor's like, don't hit me because you can't get him out. And then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. Remember, last year, the Nats got into it with the Padres.
And Gore was the one that threw it Profar.
Yeah.
I think there's guys as a manager or if you're a player, you know that can handle hitting somebody and other guys that can't handle it. You know the dudes that you should throw at and you shouldn't throw at. Like some guys, you just don't want to poke the bear. Like don't get a guy angry for no reason if he's hitting like 250. But you have to, like people say, and you'll hear people in interviews, oh, that's attempted murder. These guys are throwing 99. I get that. It is dangerous. That's why you get the right dudes to do it. You don't get some dude who's like, oh, I was trying to throw a strike and I threw it 3 feet above the zone. He's not the guy. That's what the whole CC Sabathia thing. That's why CC was so pissed at Kevin Cash because he sent Andrew Kittredge out, who was a rookie at the time, and he threw one right above Austin Romine's head or maybe even hit his head. And then CC drilled Jesus Sucre right in the butt, and he pointed to Cash. He goes, that's how you do it. There's a way to do it to make sure the team knows whatever happened, pimping a pitch or a home run or, acting a fool, you took care of it your way. You don't need anybody else to take care of it. But there's certain pitchers in your staff, especially the way that they build bullpens and starting rotations to just throw as hard as they can, that don't need to throw at anybody. You have to be able to know who it is, and you have to be able to do it to protect your stars. Jazz the other day got absolutely smacked on a tag and was pissed about it. We didn't really cover it. I think it was Maikel Garcia. If your team is really pissed about the way that he tagged him, that is a way to make sure Maikel Garcia or whoever was playing third at the time and tagged him hard doesn't do it again. Like, you send a message.
Tonight, Mets Nationals, David Peterson versus Jake Irvin. Anything happen?
No. Here's my problem I have. If you don't handle it right away, then if you lose your spot, you lose your shot, right? I remember when I played against the Rays. The Rays were pissed at me because they thought I had a dirty slide on Ben Zobrist. He was whining and crying, right? So I'm like, okay, they're going to hit me the next day or that next at bat. I had like 3 more bats in that game. They never threw at me. The next day, like my third at bat, Alex Cobb hits me, right? And then I was pissed because I'm like, what? It's too late. You lost your shot. And this is the game when Quintana threw behind, I don't know, and then that was when Hawk goes, Wagner, what are you? And he threw out Robin and he threw out Quintana. But, like, you got to take it then. You don't get to wait. Like, that's the one thing that I'll say it again. As someone that was thrown out a lot, like, hit me. Like I know when it's coming. I'll take it, but you don't get to pick and choose and wait. Do it. Hit me, and that's it. We'll move on, but don't wait. Right? Like some guys did it right. Like I remember the Twins were pissed at me. First at bat, whack. Okay, I get it.
But you get to do it the next game because sometimes if something
if it happens late, but this was early in the game.
Yeah.
And this was a close game.
It was a close
game. So here's what also another thing that like when I came up with the Twins and Tom Kelly, he wouldn't use a rookie to hit guys because, you know, he didn't want to mess with their head.
Sure.
Right? But there was also people that said, I don't care what the score is. You're hitting the first guy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting him. I don't care what the score is because that's the right way to do it, and you'll be rewarded for doing the right thing. Mark Burley one year had like a, 70-game, 6-inning streak starting. And I think I got hit, Aguchi got hit, like a bunch of us got hit in Baltimore. And Ozzie went up to him and said, "You're hitting BJ Surhoff." Whack! Whoop, ejected. Lost his like 70, whatever it was, 6-inning streak.
Teammates were probably like, that's my guy.
We didn't give a crap. We were like, yeah, but that's like, take care of it then. Don't wait. You don't get to wait. Like, you don't, like, that's what I hate. You don't get to pick and like a year later. Remember when Prince Fielder hit the home run and then spring training, the Giants hit? I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's
like,
bad.
Come on. What are we doing?
I mean, the Nats might actually not give a crap about any of this. They might be like, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. You just don't know. I don't know.
Soto's being
But again, Soto set him up nicely.
Yeah.
How many times there was many times where I would foul a fastball off with 2 strikes, but I just missed it. I'm like, please tell me you're breaking ball. Whack! Yes, I got him. or I mean, like I talked about, Manny Ramirez would set dudes up. He'd swing in a breaking ball, miss it by 7 feet, and then you throw him another one, he'd friggin' hit it over the monster. And you're like, I know he's setting me up.
You get 3 strikes. Use them however you need.
Yeah.
All right, a couple other things. Roman Anthony got his first hit in yesterday's game. There's already so much Red Sox-Yankees beef with Roman Anthony called up. Like, I think it was yesterday. Some tweet went pretty viral for Roman Anthony's exit velocity on a, I think the first game on an out was higher than Volpe's ever had. You know, I mean, like, really, we're bragging about exit velos for players. But anyway, nice piece here. Pitch telling away.
Roman Anthony versus Anthony Volpe. I don't. The only correlation is the Anthony part of it.
Yeah. His fam is right next to the dugout, huh?
Yeah.
They
got them good seats.
Yeah, they give him the good stuff.
That's usually where Kevin Millar and David Ortiz and, you know, Kevin Millar and all those guys sit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's usually a place reserved for royalty in the Red Sox. Kevin Millar and David Ortiz and Kevin. I don't know. One of those isn't fit.
Keep saying the same.
I know, one of those isn't fit. I've seen a lot of people that go there that are Red Sox big leagues. Like, I remember
Ben Affleck.
we played when I was, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, John Henry, if he goes to a game. I mean, those guys are the ones that usually get to sit there.
Poppy was there yesterday. Not in those seats, but he was there.
Yeah, but if he sits with the people, that's where he sits because they can cordon it off a little bit.
Right. It's a little courtside-ish feel to it. Okay, one more for you. The Orioles made some roster moves yesterday. Good on Jordan Westburg and Cedric Mullins back from the IL. And Cedric Mullins will be enjoying his last month with the team. It's just serious. He's going to help a contender. He's a good player. Heston Kjerstad was optioned. What's up, Kratz?
Oh, I was just going to say until him and the Mountain become Phillies because the Phillies and the Orioles just trade everybody every year. They just go back and forth.
They do. I actually was on Baltimore radio yesterday and said I could see them holding Bautista. He costs nothing. What kind of message are you sending when you have a player under years of control left and you trade him away? So they actually have
a starting pitcher.
Yeah, but they have like 6 pieces that they can trade.
Who did we talk to yesterday that said they wouldn't trade him? Was it Ken or was it Nightingale 2 days ago? One of them was like, the Orioles have too many players. They're not going to sign them and get more players. They're not going to trade guys and get more players.
Yeah, they are going to trade a lot of guys. They're going to trade a lot of guys, but they're going to trade guys that are heading to free agency.
The biggest news out of this whole thing was, I mean, obviously Mullins and West were coming back, but Heston Kjerstad is in AAA again.
He's hitting 192, 240, 327 slash.
But he was supposed to be the future, wasn't he? Remember when he was like the super prospect, like top 10 in baseball prospect?
Well, there's a bunch of guys, and now
And now they haven't traded him, and he hasn't hit. Now he's back in AAA, and his value is not where it was at one time.
No, and that's 156 ABs. Like some people are keeping a close eye on Kobe Mayo. 34 at bats. Like give him 5 seconds to breathe.
All the hype, right? This is why, and Kratz and I have said it on the show a lot. This is why sometimes you got to just trade these guys because you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. And now he has no value because no team is. I mean, teams will take him.
He's got value.
But
It's
it's not the
what
value
it was.
that he had.
No, both of those players had value that could get you a top end.
Yes, starting
trade piece.
rotation.
Yes, top end trade piece. I can only imagine some of the combos they've had over the last few years over those two players specifically and the nose that they gave. So you better hope that you figure that out for them. The hitting development has actually been a problem for the team. It was like looked at as, oh my gosh, they're developing so many great position players. And then all of a sudden now they're being looked at as, how come they can't develop position players to become star bats? It quickly changed. To me, I'm like, wait, were they just getting high picks? And now once they come up, they're not developing besides Gunnar?
I mean, Gunnar was okay.
That's it.
Adley's falling off. Yeah, Holiday's doing it right now.
Yeah, Holiday's doing okay.
Westberg.
Yeah. Westberg's been hurt, but he's been good. Yeah. I'm just saying.
But they haven't turned into that. What people were expecting because all they heard was this hype of the Orioles was they were going to be like legit, like the superstars of superstars.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And they
why
haven't
you trade
taken that level. They haven't taken that level.
I could not agree more.
Producer lady says you have to go.
Someone's at the door. It's our friend Robert Murray, but he needs to wait a couple minutes in the green room or the blue room or whatever room we call it. Be right back. If you're one of those on-the-go people or you're skipping meals but you don't want to, there's got to be a quicker solution. We've got one for you. It's called Huel. I'm going to take a swig. Cheers to Huel. This is the Black Edition, plant-based as well. Good for me. But what do you like about it?
I like the nutrition of it, and the replacement meal is great for me. Someone always on the go, like, man, I can just grab one of these out of my fridge, lunch, breakfast, whatever it takes. Whatever meal I'm not going to have time to eat, it fills me up. And it tastes great. You know why? Because it tastes like milkshake, ice cream, whatever you want to call it, whatever flavor you get is delicious.
35 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, 27 vitamins and minerals, low sugar. You can get yourself 15% off plus a free gift for new customers using the exclusive FT code FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com/FOUL. Please see our description for terms and conditions. Skip the stress, not the nutrition. Try Huel today for complete nutrition, bottled. Cheers. Give Huel a try.
I had Huel for breakfast this morning.
Yeah, it's really good. The chocolate specifically, Black Edition chocolate. They found
I had
it.
strawberry bananas this morning. That shit was bananas.
This is the one. This is the one.
And when you get the bottle, there's so many vitamins and minerals in it. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's.
By the way, thank
so
you to Fergie for allowing kids of all generations to know how to spell banana.
Oh,
yeah,
forever.
Or no, that's Gwen
Forever.
Stefani. Gwen Stefani or Fergie? Who sings the banana song?
I have
Gwen.
no idea, but that song slapped.
I think it's Gwen, but also then they taught kids shit, which, you know, maybe it's a fair trade-off. You can spell a fruit, but you said a bad word. This shit is bananas.
Yeah, but
right?
the history of the word shit is pretty clean. Just saying. We'll go over it sometime.
By the way, I know we have a quick time, but it was Gwen Stefani. So thanks, Gwen.
There you
You
go.
married Blake Shelton, and you taught everyone how to spell bananas over the years. Kratz, did you see the kid yesterday that threw 178 at the showcase? It's all over everything. And I'm like,
Whoa.
the kid's throwing it. Both feet were like when he let the ball go were in front of home plate. I'm like, why can't we at these showcases? Why can't we have a batter? Just a guy just stand there. Doesn't even have to have a bat. Just stand there because you keep the kid. You keep them back. I mean, again, I put this out on my Instagram the other day. Like the best catcher in baseball throw of the whole year was like 184, and there's a 16-year-old kid throwing 178. Come on,
Let's
put
it out. He has a great arm.
Yes.
We can agree with that. He's got a great arm. Don't say 178. Just don't do it. Don't do it for him. He'll be disappointed later in life.
Here comes fan-sided MLB insider Robert Murray with us. Robert, good to see you. And I want to start trades, then we'll get to some call-ups. I want to get right to biz here. Team that you think will be the most popular for phone calls based on legit assets that can help a team win the World Series is?
I'll go with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And first of all, good to be here with you boys. It's been a while. But they have so many different pieces here. And this season has not gone how they expected it at all. But they have pieces such as like Zach Gallen. They have Merrill Kelly. They have Shelby Miller. They have a bunch of pieces on offense, which are headlined by Suarez there. So they have so many different names that they're already starting to get calls in Arizona. They're not ready to sell quite yet. But if they continue to struggle, and with Corbin Burns' injury, then that could make them a really enticing trade candidate for so many different teams. There's not a lot of obvious sellers right now. So if they end up deciding to sell, they could really end up dictating the market here.
Robert, where are you at on the Orioles and how far they will go? We talked earlier about Felix Bautista. I actually believe that he won't be dealt based on how many years he has left, what his cost is, and the messaging to Orioles fans. Hey, we tanked for half a decade. We lost favor in the area. There are fans that probably became Nationals fans, not older fans, but younger fans, because they're like, this isn't a serious franchise. They're tanking for years, and the window was so short for now, they can't just close it. Do you think that if they trade someone like Bautista, who has years of control, they're sending the wrong message, and they should look more at Sir Anthony Dominguez, Andrew Kittredge, Cedric Mullins, Ryan O'Hearn, etc.?
I think you're spot on with that. If I was them, I would not move Bautista unless you end up getting just a massive haul like we ended up seeing last year with Scott and a bunch of these other relievers who were moved last year. Like the prices on relief pitching, especially high leverage guys, was just so high, and these teams could not necessarily like ignore that. Like the value was just too much for them to say no to. And if the Orioles get something like that in return, then I think that conversation could be had. But if you're looking at it from their perspective, in my opinion, they can't move guys that are not they can't move guys who are signed long term. They have to move guys who are signed for only this season. And you can look at Charlie Morton, to me, is one of the better value plays. He struggled to start this year, but I think a guy with his history and just how good he's been and how important he's been in clubhouses as well, that guy, I would target him if I was a team, not looking to necessarily like break the bank for a starting pitcher, just a pitcher in general. But you mentioned some of these other guys as well, like Sagano, like Zach Eflin, Cedric Mullins. There's so many different guys, like also relief pitchers as well. Kittredge, although he's signed for next year as well, but they have guys who are signed short term that they can move on from, and they have a core of young players. And when you guys were talking about it before I hopped on here, the expectations were just so high in Baltimore, and it's just not been that at all. And they have to continue to try to build for next year and going forward. They cannot sell anything too big where it just decreases their chances of winning next season, because then that could end up really impacting Mike Elias's job status. And maybe with them moving on from their manager, that has already happened where it's like his seat's starting to get warm. But they're going to be building for next year and going forward. So I expect this to be just a sell-off of expiring contracts for this year.
But isn't that just quid pro quo from normal teams that are like championship caliber teams? We always talk about how, well, the Pirates can't trade Paul Skeens. The Orioles can't trade the Mountain. Like, to me, teams that don't go out and spend and make that big move, you can't just go quid pro quo like the Yankees would never trade a Paul Skeens. They would never like, you have to almost like flip the script and be like, wow, how did they do that? Are the Orioles in that position, or does this new ownership, I think they spent $73 million this year, just expect, okay, we're going to run it back next year, but we're going to put our money into new things? Because if they don't go out and get the guy, because all we heard from the Orioles was, oh, we're going to go trade for this guy, trade for that guy. Why not make a big move now and get that starting pitcher before the offseason?
You're preaching to the choir on that one, because I've been wanting them to make a big move for even since the offseason, and they just have not done that. And it's incredibly frustrating because in my time of covering baseball, I'm 10 plus years into this now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I've never seen a core of like this talent or this much talent of players, even maybe since like the Chicago Cubs, or even more so than that. Like they have such a great collection of young players all across the roster here, and they have just not maximized it. And if there was anything that they were going to go out and spend on, it was starting pitching. Like they did it getting Corbin Burnes almost immediately after the ownership change. So I was hoping and thinking that was like a sign of things to come, but it's just been incredibly underwhelming. And whether it's the owner, whether it's Mike Elias being like hesitant to make a big move like that, I'm not exactly sure what it is, or even if it's just a mixture of both. But this team, especially with all these guys signed cheap, but also long-term as well, now has been the time to go out and get those players in free agency, or even when you have an infield logjam or even an outfield logjam, trading some of those guys and improving your pitching staff. They've not done that. They did it last year with the trade with the Marlins, and they moved a guy like Kyle Stowers and Connor Norby, and that trade was easily the worst of the last deadline. So the pressure is on them to get things right both now and in the offseason, because if not, then there's going to be a lot of talk about them looking for both a new manager but also a new GM as well.
While you're mentioning the Marlins, what do you think they'll do? I mean, Sandy Alcantara's put together back-to-back nice outings, so maybe he goes on a little run here over the next month and gets himself back into the trade conversation for Miami. I'm sure they would like to move him. Pitchers are always taking time bombs, even though this one's coming off surgery, and if they're thinking long-term, this would be a good year to do it if he gets back on track. And is there anyone else you think that could pop up and be relevant for a Marlins trade conversation?
I honestly think the Marlins will listen on anyone not named Agustin Ramirez or even Yuri Perez. Anyone else, I think they'll listen on. And like, I want to make it clear, like listening and shopping are two totally different things. Every team listens on almost every player. Like that's just a part of it, because you got to know exactly what kind of value is out there and try to make the most informed decisions for your franchise. So when I say that, like I just anticipate them listening on essentially everyone on the roster. And I could also see that including a guy like Kyle Stowers. And my guess is a trade is probably unlikely, considering this just the overall year he's had. He signed long-term, he signed cheap. I believe he's in his mid to late 20s, somewhere in that ballpark, and he's a really valuable piece. But what I said before with the Diamondbacks is so far this looks like a very limited trade market and a seller's market. And I would not be surprised at all if the Marlins got plenty of trade calls for a guy like Stowers. And if you can end up having those trade calls turn into offers and those offers turning into a bidding war, then that could be something where I could see the Marlins trying to take advantage of that. But I think Stowers makes plenty of sense. Sandy Alcantara, we've talked about plenty. And the year that he's had overall has been extremely disappointing. Like, I think his best baseball is easily ahead of him, but this season's been a huge struggle for him. And I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Marlins held on to him and tried to wait for the offseason or even maybe next trade deadline to try to trade him. So my guess is Sandy stays, but then some of these other guys on the roster, they could be had, or even some bullpen guys as well, because bullpen is always just a huge need for almost every contending team.
Hold up, though, on Stowers. I don't know where he's at with service time, but it is very, very early in the service time clock for him. Yeah, free agent listed here. I don't, with Baseball Reference, do they mean after or during the year? It says 2030 mentioned.
After, probably.
So after 2030.
Wasn't he a rookie last year?
Yeah. I think he had been up and down a couple other times.
Years.
Yeah, he had been up and down actually for the last few years, but barely.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to trade him. He looks like a piece of the future. Honestly,
okay, there we go. I got to make sure. I don't think they're going to trade him, but I think there's going to be plenty of teams who call. So that's what I want to say there.
Peter Bendix will trade anybody. You make the right call. You might. You know what they could. You know what? If you call Peter Bendix right now and you offer him the bat dog that just got called up, he'd be like, we could save a couple bucks by making that trade. Maybe we could do that. And,
dog food.
And the dog, but the bat dog could also do something. We could also save money on a bat boy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, maybe.
Yeah. See, Robert would never trade his pup, but I get what you're saying, Robert.
Yeah, Cooper's not available. He's untouchable. No. He's in the Paul Skeens category for me.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Kratz, you go.
All right. The Rockies, they've always been willing to make big moves at the trade deadline. Not the Rockies. Clearly, they have some pieces. Are they going to be able to move or want to move the pieces that are actually good, or are they just going to be a team that tries to move like a Kinley, who's, I think he has a 6+ ERA, or even finally move McMahon, who now isn't having a great year when they could have traded him other years and gotten something for him.
There is a reason why the Rockies are always bad. And I mean, that's just one of many reasons for them. And it's unfortunate because that ballpark is beautiful, and they somehow like have a bunch of people in the stands on every night. But yet the product on the field stinks. And that's not the players' fault. That's just an organizational problem. And it starts at the trade deadline because they've had players in the past, and Ryan McMahon, it really is just the prime example of that. He is someone they should have sold when his value was a lot higher. I know myself and so many other writers were really like adamant that they should absolutely listen, but yet Dick Munford and that organization put their foot down and were just like, nope, it's a guy we're not moving. He's a favorite of Munford as well, and that's gotten in the way of this, and also I believe some other things in the past as well. But if they listen on him right now, which I think Ken Rosenthal even reported today, like there's no real sign that there's no real, like, they haven't decided exactly what they're going to do here. But if they do listen on McMahon or even some of the relievers or just anyone on that roster in general, they should absolutely consider moving McMahon, even though his value is not what it once was. But shedding that big contract would be ideal for them, but just they could have gotten so much more even a year or two ago. And the fact that they've waited this long and might move them now, the Rockies are going to rocky.
But the whole Monfort family works for the Rockies, don't they? It's like the dad, the brother, the son, the other son, this guy's sister. It's like the whole family works for the Rockies. So they can't sell and they can't move on because then they would have to find a whole new family business besides the Rockies. So I get why Monfort's someone to sell. All right, let's go to the team in their division, though, the Padres. What's a bigger need for the Padres? Left field, which is they do have Hayward coming back, or is it catcher? Which one do you think they have a better chance and maybe a better need of filling?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think you can make the case for both. And you can even see it in spring training with the Padres at the catcher position, because Elias Diaz was struggling there, and they were trying to figure out exactly what they were going to do, and they even kicked the tires, I believe, at some point in the spring or somewhere in there on that ballpark on Yasmani Grandal, who actually was just released from the Red Sox, but I would not be surprised if Grandal ended up retiring there. So if that is the case, like, heck of a career by Grandal. But catching, that's always tricky. What exactly they can end up targeting? Like, who's going to be available? Like, Gary Sanchez could make sense if the Orioles end up moving on from him. So I could see that being a potential fit, and there's history there as well. And then you could also look at left field, and there's going to be plenty of different options for them to consider. But the thing, I would actually put catcher ahead of that, just because I think catcher is just AJ, like, and also Kratz there as well. You guys, a team of catchers today. I didn't even think about that. But catching is such an important position, so I would put that ahead of that for sure. I would think that's probably the top priority for them. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be spending too much money because they've had a pretty limited budget in years past. Even so, in the offseason, and getting Jackson Merrill's deal done there was a lot of pushing and shoving that had to go into there to make that happen. So I'm not banking on a big AJ Preller move. Although that being said, he's proven me wrong before with Luis Ariz and some of these other things. So I'm not going to doubt him, but I'm kind of skeptical of that right now.
And catching moved at the trade deadline is rare moves. So it's barely, but let's talk about a call-up that happened in both of our old stomping grounds. Jacob Misiorowski. Is this guy's ascension to the big leagues going to be culminated in him being pulled out in the fifth inning, or is this 103 going to be something that we're going to see night in and night out every 5 days and really solidify that second spot in the Brewers rotation, especially with Savali going to the bullpen?
I think he's going to make an immediate impact, and you might think I'm crazy for what I'm about to say, Kratzy, but we've seen the Brewers. They've had Freddie Peralta, they've had Corbin Burns, they've had Brandon Woodruff. If everything goes right for Misiorowski, I could see him being better than all of those guys. He has all the tools in his body. He's typically averages about 97 to 98, can top out at 103, got a really good slider, really good curveball. And his big problem that he's had has been his control. And he's figured it out. It's been moving in a better direction for him. And if everything ends up working out, and like I know that's easier said than done, but he's got all the tools in his body to be better and better than all those guys. So if I'm the Brewers, I would be incredibly optimistic about what's to come for him. He's going to make an immediate impact there, and both now and going forward, my guess is he's going to be in the ace of that rotation, maybe as soon as next year if Freddie Peralta becomes a trade possibility for them in the offseason. So there's just a lot of optimism surrounding Mizrowski. I'm surprised it took this long, but the fact that he's about to make his debut, I think everyone in baseball should be watching because he is easily one of the best pitching prospects to come up for the Brewers and just in general. Although Bubba Chandler is he should be up now, but he's also a very good one as well.
When do you think Bubba Chandler gets called up for the Pirates to give them something else to watch for fun since the team's not a contender again?
I was hoping like a month ago. He's so good, and if he ended up getting called up earlier, he was my pick to win National League Rookie of the Year. He is an awesome player, and the Pirates. I mean, they played better since moving on from their manager there. And if you call him up, you're going to have Paul Skeens, you're going to have Bubba Chandler, you're going to have Mitch Keller, you're going to have a bunch of these other guys. I wish Jared Jones was healthy because having all those guys together would have been a really, really, really cool thing and given fans a reason to come to the ballpark. And it's a shame to see that ballpark as empty as it is. But Chandler is the best pitching prospect in baseball. And the Pirates should have called him up even a month ago, or they should call him up now. I don't know exactly what they're waiting for, if it's like a service time thing. I have no idea, but Pirates fans have every reason to be optimistic about him because between him and Paul Skeens, you have maybe the most talented 1-2 punch in baseball with those guys.
And Harrington coming up too, but can Bubba Chandler hit? Because if that's the case, then the Pirates fans will really come out.
Oh my God! If only it was Shohei Ohtani. He can't play first base. Yeah, that would be that would be fun. That'd be fun.
Okay, good.
Hey, bring me in for a sec. So you remember, you got to go way back, 2024. The Pirates called up this big deal pitching prospect named Paul Skeens. They called him up on May 11th, which is too late for them to get that extra draft pick, that reward for calling someone up, right? But not too late for that player to get a full year of service time if he finishes in first or second place for NL Rookie of the Year. So they got nothing out of a system that is essentially created for an organization like that.
Yep.
Some smart people on the screen right now. Do we think that has anything to do with it?
I'm handling other stuff.
I know you're handling.
I'm handling other shows.
I'm going here.
Sorry.
Yes. I'm going here.
Robert, no offense. We have a guest coming on
special
next.
surprise coming. That's fine.
Oh, no, you're good, AJ.
Apologize.
But okay, former Pirate Erik Kratz, do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yes. Fool me once. Whoops. We didn't think Skeens was going to pitch like he did, or they knew he was going to pitch like we did. We didn't think he was going to win Rookie of the Year. Oh, wait. We let him keep pitching. Then he won it. We're not going to make that mistake again with a guy who, our great Robert Murray just said, is one of the best pitching prospects in baseball. I saw him in spring training. Woof. That dude can sling it.
Nasty.
Exactly.
He's so good.
Robert, we appreciate the time. Thanks for stopping by. Obviously, we'll talk again as your hot time of the year is coming up here with the trade deadline. I think about 50 days away. I think it's about 6 weeks. Good catching up, man.
Good. No, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. Have a good rest of your day. And as always, go Birds.
Wait, go Blue Jays? Cardinals?
Check his stuff out on Fanside at Denzel Clarke from the A's. Coming up. This one's easy for us to talk about. I'm a huge fan of Hungry Root. They're delivering groceries that we want and groceries that we didn't know we want, but we want.
Oh yeah, they every box that I get from Hungry Root has a new snack in it that I'm like, oh, this looks interesting, and then I try it, and I'm like, oh, I might need some more of those. So they're great at not only getting the groceries you want, but they surprise you with tasty little treats that you didn't know you needed.
Agreed. turkey jerky. There was like a chocolate pudding thing where I'm like, I'm not a big chocolate pudding fan. Then I have it, and I'm like, this is awesome. So they can cater to your needs. You got gluten-free, or you're looking for a certain diet that you want to fulfill, or there are certain items that you love. They learn along with you. You let them know your preferences. They just nail it. Take advantage of the exclusive FT offer, please. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/FT. Use code FT. That's hungryroot.com/FT, code FT, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. Okay, now you may talk about Kike Hernandez with his helmet hat and his 2 1/3 innings as the long man for the Dodgers. Jackson Merrill said this postgame, nastiest cutter I've ever seen. Alden Gonzalez goes, I asked him if he was being sarcastic. He swore he wasn't.
Okay. He never faced Mariano Rivera then, apparently, because
he's faced Corbin Burns, I think.
Okay, I'll still take Mariano.
No, I know that. But I'm saying Jackson Merrill thinks that a Corbin Burns.
No, you know what? Here's what happens when you face position players. You're expected to get a hit, and when you don't, right? And then what he probably did is he used to be able to get new baseballs. We used to do this all the time, and you could two-seam them, and if you gripped them just right, you could make them cut some sort of filthy. I mean,
floater.
Like, it was like a floater. It would just go.
Why don't starters do that?
The balls are rubbed up. It's a little harder with rubbed up balls because you're also not throwing it hard. You're kind of like just really try to get behind it and like hold it, and it'll just because of finger pressure. But listen, Kike Hernandez probably jammed Jackson Merrill. Was like, man, that was a nasty cutter. I mean, 2 1/3. He went 2 1/3.
That's a lot,
and did pretty well too. It wasn't like he was throwing hard.
Well, no, he's getting used to it. I mean, he's been doing it pretty frequently.
And the hat, the hat thing he wears fits perfectly.
Mm-hmm. It's a look.
Tremendous. It's a good look. He's electric. Kike's electric.
They need to eat innings. Seriously.
I know.
Blowout game. They need
Especially
to eat
a bullpen
innings.
game. He's their long guy.
He is, for real. It's crazy. Ace center fielder Denzel Clarke joining us right now. Denzel, great to have you on the show. Thanks for the time. What a week. Man, it is fun to watch you man the outfield. Are you having as much fun as everyone is watching you?
I'll be honest. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I'm just out there playing my game. It's cool. I mean, getting a lot of attention for it on a big league stage now, which is dope. But just keep being. It's been a lot of fun. Absolutely.
We're loving it. Hey, we're hearing you a little low. Maybe if you can sit a little closer to the camera if you can, just so we get the crowd on all the TVs to hear you. I mean, we heard you, but that's better. That's better. All right, I'm going to get right to biz here, Denzel. Take me through the catch the other night that goes hyper viral, and I'll add, because I always want to recruit more baseball fans, that's the kind of catch that can bring in a fan who doesn't give a crap about baseball. And they look at that and they're like, oh, that's going on in baseball? I'll watch the A's tonight.
No doubt. Sorry, could you ask the question one more time?
Take me through how, so you see that ball and the flight out there. Have you ever scaled the wall like that? And what's going through your brain? Like, are you thinking, hey, I'm going to go after that ball. I'm going to climb up like that and make that catch? Or does that just happen instinct-wise?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something I practice. Like, I'll take a round of BP by the wall and just just work on my distance by the wall, scale, just trying to work on my timing and stuff. So just putting it all together in a game. First step, route, everything came together. Went up and grabbed the ball. It was it was honestly one of the more special catches I've made. I have scaled the wall before. I did in Toronto. I've done it in college a couple of times too. That was probably one of the better ones I've made.
All right, tell me, what's your best catch you've ever made? If that ain't it, is it the one they made the other day where you almost killed yourself and broke your shoulder like a million places? I mean, if that ain't it, then which one's your best one?
No, that is for sure the best one. But I did have one in college. I went to Cal State Northridge. It's a funniest story because it's honestly a myth at this point. But it was the second game of a doubleheader. It wasn't streamed. We're getting blown up by 20 games. All the fans have left. All the scouts have left. It's like late in the game. Brooksley for the Twins hit one, and I went kind of similar, went up full extension over the fence and robbed that one too. But there's nothing about that one, no cameras or anything. So that was the only one that would have been close. But this one takes the cake for sure.
Denzel, so was that one more like a 93% catch? I don't know if you saw it, but the one you went over the wall to catch, this one in Anaheim that we're talking about, it said on StatCast it was a 93% catch probability. What did you see that? Did you know? I'm sorry, 95% catch probability. Essentially, it was a guaranteed catch, is what StatCast said. Did you see that? And what are your comments on that?
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, like, that's a pretty easy play. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're right. I mean, 95%. I think everyone's making that catch. So, yeah, I think they're right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That whole thing, 95%. I couldn't have made that catch in my prime of primes.
I don't think. I mean, how many center fielders can make a catch like that?
Right now, there ain't a lot.
No, not many.
Not a lot.
We could actually we could come up with one guy in his prime who did make.
There's a guy I played with that probably could have made that catch.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him make some pretty good catches, and I think one time, Denzel, this guy tweeted at you the other day. You know who this guy is?
Yes, sir. Torii.
What's up, Denzel?
How we doing?
Good, man. I saw that catch, man. I'm very impressed, man. That was a very impressive catch. I like how you had a bead on it. You got a great jump off of it, and you look like you had all the confidence in the world. I might have seen one more like that. That was Gary Matthews and Mike Trout. They made something like that, but, man, you rolling your back on the wall was very athletic. Very impressive.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I've seen both those catches. Those ones are really cool, man.
Did you sleep that night?
I did a little later than I usually would, but I did get some sleep.
That's cool. I know you probably got text messages from everybody in baseball, your family members. When I make those catches, man, my family would text me. My players would text me, and I'd be up all night trying to answer those calls.
Absolutely. That's exactly how it was. I had to cut myself off and give myself some time in the morning to breathe. So it was crazy.
Man, I just wanted to jump on and tell you. What's up? What's up,
Torii,
AJ?
before I let you go, you're going to get in a crash driving down the street, bro. Pull over. I don't want to be responsible for Torii Hunter getting in a crash, all right? While he's driving.
Definitely. This is probably illegal. AJ, everything you do, every time I get with you, man, you have me do something illegal, man. I shouldn't hang with you too much.
That's right. But here's my question. Now, your nickname became Spider-Man, right, for all the catches you made. Do we got a nickname for Denzel for the couple catches that he's made? We got to come up with a nickname for him.
Elastic Man. Because the way he climbed that wall, stretched and caught that ball, man, you got to have some rubber in you. Wow, that sounds bad.
Elasticity. What do you think, Denzel?
That's terrible.
That's good. That's cool. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Hey, Torii, last one before you jump and get back to the road. When you see a catch like that now, I mean, what do you think? You know, like when you see the difficulty, there's not many humans on the planet that can catch baseballs like that. So, you know, you're one of the few that can really comment on how ridiculous and difficult and how much time it takes to like get reps in the league, right? You need the automatic athleticism that you have. But then on top of that, I mean, it's not like you just woke up and were able to catch baseballs like that. You played the game for a long time to get there.
I just don't think you can teach it. You know, you're talking about Gary Matthews, Mike Trout, and Denzel. When they make these catches, man, it's hard to replicate. These guys are such great athletes that they can make something happen like that, and that's why you rarely see it, because it's not too many people that can make those catches and be consistent with it. Man, just what he did, just break on the ball, the confidence, the closeout. To close that ball out, most people give up on that ball. But because of his stubbornness and my stubbornness and Trout and Gary Matthews, when they make those plays, you're just stubborn. You want to keep going. That's why I end up flipping over a wall in Boston because I just can't let that thing go. It's like someone's on a chalkboard and they're scraping the chalkboard with the chalk and putting pressure on it. It makes that noise. It makes your teeth grinch. So
The way he did things like that you did. It was an every night occurrence. You're watching the game, and I'm like, oh, that ball's hit deep to left center. Tori's got it. Right center, Tori's got it. Oh, there's a 30-foot wall. Torii will jump over that wall. So that was a thing. And then when we saw he tweeted at you, I had to reach out to him, and he wanted to come on and give you props. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Absolutely. He's a legend, man. I really appreciate that. It's really cool.
Who was your guy? Who was the guy that you watched growing up?
Jackie Bradley Jr., my favorite defensive outfielder I got to watch growing up. He's one of a kind.
Because of his arm or because of the way
I played with him.
Everything, man, everything. He seen him make a play, Baltimore like that. I think one of my favorite plays from him, though, I always remember this because it's the first time I ever saw it. He got around a ball in right center, throwing a third. Usually, like, you take a route and go, like, turn your body and run around. He started, like, backpedaling mid-game to get behind this baseball to shoot it to third. That was one of the coolest things I've seen. So I tried to emulate that, add that to my game. But he's fun to watch for sure.
I could have called him. Next time we know. Next time you make another catch, we'll have JBJ on with you, okay? Because I played with him too, so we can call him. And he's a good dude too. I didn't play with him as long as I played with Torii, but he's a good guy. He can play some outfield too. Wow.
Really can.
Hey, Denzel, I've got one for you because obviously the defense is giving you a national name in the sport in 5 seconds. I mean, you haven't been up for long yet. Are you appreciative of the way that we have metrics for defense? It's funny, I'm saying this as we made fun of the catch probability, but for me, for a long time, you'd watch someone and you'd be like, damn, they're so good, and there was nothing for a long period of time. And it is by no means perfect. But for example, outs above average generally will match up the eye test to players over the course of a season. So you immediately come up to the show, and that number in the first few weeks here is huge, right? You're among the league leaders in 5 seconds. Are you appreciative of that because it helps for front offices to value players like you, where in the past it's eye test, and frankly, I think it can produce some better defensive players in the league when there's a stat to back it up.
Absolutely, for sure. I think I got my first taste of that this year. My first year in AAA, first year in the big leagues.
Hey, what up?
First year in first year in AAA. My first year having StatCast and stuff. I feel like even since I got to AAA and then even to the big leagues now, just like you said, having access to that data, I've been able to make like a lot of strides. Just seeing, okay, my first jump. Or my first step, my jump could have been better here. This could have been better there. Just having access to those things, seeing, where my improvements can be made, I think is really, really cool. And then I think it's super gratifying just being able to see how you stack up against the rest of the players in the league. So I think there is a huge benefit to them, to these numbers and everything. And of course, they're not always going to be perfect. But it's really cool seeing where, like I said, again, we're a stack up against the rest of the league. So it's been very fun to see.
You going to roam center field for Team Canada and WBC and see how you stack up against the world?
That'd be really cool. I'll be waiting on my phone call. I got to play in the last one, so I'm looking forward to playing in the next one.
Okay, so Ernie Witt's going to give you a call. Larry Walker, those guys, Stubby Clapp, who else? Tim Leeper, all those dudes going to give you a call.
We got our crew.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you to wear that uniform?
It means a lot. I've got to wear it for the junior national team, played the World Championships, played in the WBC in 2023. It's an honor, man. Just playing for your country. There's nothing like it. I remember 2017, the U18 World Championships. We were the home country. We were playing in Thunder Bay. Very cold, but it was what an experience.
Hey, best member of your family at baseball. Best member of your family at baseball.
Best member of the family in baseball.
Yeah, Nailers. The Naylor family or you? Because aren't you the cousins of the Nailers?
Yeah,
aren't the Nailers your cousins?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
who's got the better? Who's the best one? You, Josh, Bo?
I mean, I think we got to go right now with the one with the only All-Star appearance, Josh.
Okay.
He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. But I know we're all super talented. Got a lot of love for them. That's my family through and through. So, yeah,
Do
really
you guys
excited
play?
to.
Do you guys have a game like at a family reunion? Like, hey, like let's get a pickup game here.
It's funny. When I first got into baseball, um, so we had like a family like Thanksgiving, and we just went in the backyard. We just grabbed like a bunch of tinfoil, rolled it up into a ball like a broomstick, and we were just playing baseball out in the backyard after we ate it before. Either burn off the food or get us hungry for the food. But that's like one of my first memories getting some sort of baseball reps in. So it was pretty special.
That's wild. Now
That's
you guys are all, Team Canada players
Right?
together too, which is pretty cool. Hey, Denzel, this was awesome. Thank you so much for the time for joining us. I know you got the game. Good luck today in a couple hours, and hope you enjoyed it, man. We'll catch you down the road.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on. This is dope.
Yeah, same here. Thank you. Denzel Clarke with us on FT. Be right back with Pete Fairbanks, Rays closer. It's summertime, and if you want to let it all flow out, but the hair is thinning, there is a solution for you. And Kratz, it's called Nutrafol. Tell the people what they need to do.
It's easy. You just got to hit up Nutrafol.com and use our code FOUL. And I'll tell you why, because you're going to have thicker hair. That's it. If that's your desire, you want thicker hair, there's no other place to go than Nutrafol.com and use the code FOUL for us.
#1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, they're offering the FT fam $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and you enter the promo code FOUL, F-O-U-L. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. That was great. That was awesome, by the way. Hey, here's Craig Kimbrel latching on with another team. Texas Rangers, minor league contract. Obviously, he opted out with the Braves, who DFA'd him. So he was like, see ya. So we'll see if Kimbrel pops up with the Rangers.
They need bullpen help.
They do. That could be a thing. By the way, I want to take you back to Clarke for a moment. I didn't know the Naylor connection, so that was cool.
I don't think he knew what I was talking about either until I was like, hey,
True.
the Nailers are your cousins.
True. Josh had the big grand slam the other day. He's 818 OPS, 352 on base, 127 OPS plus, 297 batting average. He's going to be a free agent after this year. If I was Cleveland, I would have kept him for the last season. The exchange, Carlos Santana is fine, but not as good.
Less strikeouts, too. He's striking out less than he has ever in his career. Like, he's made some significant adjustments.
I think they took a part of Cleveland's soul in that lineup out of there. He'd been there for a while. He was
kind of their swag.
And protection for Jose.
Yeah, but he was their swag. Like,
yeah.
He was their guy. Well, remember the game he hit against the White Sox? He drove in like 7 runs in like the 9th and the 10th. And he hit a grand slam and then to tie the game. And then he hit another like.
Very clutch.
And he always rocked the baby.
Yes. Very clutch. That
he came on with us too in spring training, which was awesome.
That was one in the offseason when I was like, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Too cute. Because it wasn't even a money cut. I mean, they're making the same amount, him and Santana. Again, Santana's not bad. He's a better defender than him. He's a really good defender. He's a Gold Glove defender. But Naylor's better. Better bat.
They got something for him. So they're putting the same money out, plus they got a player.
Still taking Naylor. Rays closer Pete Fairbanks is here with an absolute A+ hair game going on right now, hanging out at Fenway. Pete, how's everything going, man? How's the week and really the month for you with a team that is on fire?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty fun. Anytime you get to watch some guys figure out 6 different ways to win at any given time great for clubhouse vibes. And when everyone's feeling good, typically it's a lot more enjoyable to show up to the ballpark.
For everybody who's listening, you need to check out Yuli Gurriel's hair. I mean, Pete Fairbanks' hair. Why do pitchers never get like when a hitter's got hair like that? Man, it is like they are all over it. The closest pitchers ever get is like a Matt Strom or like a Josh Hader. But do you guys get swag from haircuts? Because hitters, happy haircut, 2 for 4. You know it, next day for sure.
Yeah, man, I think that's like a universal, everybody feels good. Oh my goodness, you're just going right through my shot. It's unbelievable. Um, I mean, everybody feels good
Who
with a
was that?
haircut, right? I had no idea who that was. He had a media credential on, but I think it's because nobody ever wants to think about pitchers, especially relievers. I think everybody's happy to think about, your 5 frontline starters that you can talk about being, great, and then everybody just kind of marginalizes us and throws us to the wayside.
Well, hey, Pete, Roman Anthony got called up. I know you're on the Rays, but Roman Anthony got called up, and you got to face him his first game. Did you want to give up his first hit? I know you didn't, but like, what is it? What is the pride like for a pitcher? I don't want to be the dude that gives up this guy's first hit, right? You make it to the 9th inning, you hit it off your glove, he got his RBI, but right, is there pride in a pitcher that says, I don't want to give up this dude's first hit?
Yeah, I think that might be universal. I mean, I definitely didn't want to give up his first hit because if I had given up his hit, we would have lost.
True.
So for me, maybe a little bit more than everybody else, because it would have put a nice L in addition to the BS in my counting stat column. But yeah, I don't think anybody wants to be the guy, but kid's got a good swing. He made a really good 2-strike adjustment on the pep changeup last night, and it is what it is. I don't think you could hold the number one guy that everybody's been talking about hitless for a career. So somebody was bound to give it up.
Do you talk about what are the meetings like? Because I've sat in the Rays advanced meetings for the starters and for the relievers, and they're pretty extensive. They're really good at getting you guys locked into where you got to go. A prospect like that gets called up. It's not like you're going over, Brandon Lau or Yandy Diaz, who you faced in the division all the time, or like for you guys, you're not going over Rafi Devers the same way. Do they give you general information, or because of all the stats that we have now, do they go, we've seen this dude for 400 at bats in AAA, we got this information? How is that talked about?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different just because in the past couple of years we're starting to get more and more data out of AAA in terms of Statcast, et cetera. You're able to see kind of some batted ball effects. You're able to get a little bit more swing tendencies out of them. So it was a little bit more extensive than I was expecting for a guy making his debut, but that just speaks to how much data and decision making and damage, first contact, et cetera, how much of that information is now becoming more and more available, throughout the minor league levels.
By the way, Pete, if you catch that ball, the inning's over, you get a double play, you're out. There is no BS next to your name. I mean, if you just catch it, you hit it right to your glove.
I tried to catch it. Unfortunately, I was the reason we instituted a rule of pitchers don't try to field anything unless it's going to hit you. So take that for what it was. And then unfortunately, AJ, did you ever hit a ball off the plate in your career?
Yeah, that was the chance I had an infield hit.
Did you beat it out? If so?
I mean, not earlier in my career, I had a much better chance than later. Okay, I saw that. I was watching that game. I watched that whole inning.
I saw that.
They didn't hit a ball. They honestly didn't hit a ball that inning that was over like 60 miles an hour. I think it was Romy Gonzalez that got the hit between first and third, and it literally barely got to the outfield. And I think you just looked over and were just like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to somebody about it, and for it to end up in Ian Seymour getting a hometown debut and a win, I can't complain about any of it. It was a great moment for him, and something that he and his family, being from up here, are going to be able to cherish.
True. All right. So in the 9th inning yesterday, there was a lot of people talking about this. Your eyes. Your eyes. Have you seen all this stuff about your eyes? Is that a normal reaction, or is it just because the
I
blood
didn't
was
know if
pumping?
well, I don't know if it's recurring.
Is your
It
hat
it
too
seemed
tight?
like it hit its my hat. I definitely do need to get a new hat because I got all this going on. I haven't had a haircut in a while. Um, it definitely made its rounds in the World Series in 20. Um, just kind of my first exposure to baseball Twitter and people like this guy is off his rocker, I think. Um, but yeah, it's been around. It's been like that forever. There's a picture in my house of me shooting a basketball in high school, and it's the same face, just different sports. So maybe it's the hat, maybe it's genetics, maybe it's because I'm a little bit off my rocker.
That was gonna be my question. Let's put it to rest right now. Are you a little off your rocker?
Uh, I mean, there's things that I think I'm a little more off about, but like aren't anytime that you get stuck with 8 other people, that's where you typically put the weird guys, and I've said that forever. So I think we all got our quirks down there, that's for sure.
Hey, Pete, tell
Yeah, but
me.
usually they're left-handed.
Nah,
Most super weird guys are left-handed.
I guess
So
you're right.
maybe
Hey,
he's
well, good
really
news is
left-handed.
I shoot a basketball left-handed, so I got
See?
like part of an in, and if I threw it any more over the top, I might be throwing it from the lefty side. So,
Like Greg Holland. Remember Greg Holland used to throw like a slider
oh
from like
yeah,
over here, and it would
I
break
think
like a
of the
left-handed
Oliver
slider.
the one Oliver Drake splitter that went viral like 3 or 4 years ago now
Yep.
that he threw. He legitimately threw it from the first base side of the mound, and it ended up in the right-handed batter's box.
That's crazy. That is crazy that you shoot left-handed. I have not heard that.
Mm-mm.
Have you?
I didn't know that. So wait, do you wear your watch on your left or your right wrist?
No, left hand. There's
That's
only one other person I found that does it, and he also went to my high school. We both threw right-handed, shot a basketball left-handed.
I've never heard that.
I don't know. You're like, what's the
For
guy's name?
baseball
Bo Kimball?
and
Bo
for
Kimball?
Bo Kimball did it,
oh,
yeah.
he shoots both ways.
For Hank Gathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, I want to ask
Wow.
you about the weirdos that you were talking about hanging out with. So you've been in the league for a minute now. You've got dirt in your spikes. Can you introduce us to some of the other Rays that maybe don't have as much attention? And I would say if you want to just give us a line or two about some of the guys that have standout performances so far this year. I mean, Clevenger's been around for a minute, but Manuel Rodriguez, Erik Orzi, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right.
Let's see, Clev is up there with some of the best left-handed stuff I've ever seen. And I encourage people to go look up Derek Clevenger's Baseball Savant page if you want to see a lot of red and be entertained when you can go click on the individual pitches. Manny, same stuff. I mean, these guys are, they're part of they're in the same boat that, a lot of us were in first coming up with Tampa, right? Nobody's really heard of you, and you got an outlier pitch that's really good. Speaking of outlier pitches, Erik Orzi, if you guys haven't seen the splitter, it makes me think of my favorite splitter, which is Oliver Drake. Who else? I mean, it was said kind of got run out there a little bit after the success he had last year. Kind of got his name out there. Who else we got down there right now? I'm drawing a blank.
How,
You
It's
said
just
a
kind of
bunch.
bad that I
Said about
can't. It's
half
kind
of
of
them. You
bad.
got
Kind
it.
of bad that I can't name more people down there. That's no. But
you you just
sorry. Let me get on the last one. Mason Montgomery. I need people to go look up Mason Montgomery and what he can make a baseball do, because from the pure stuff, the kid might be number one in baseball. It's unbelievable.
how do the Rays keep doing this? Is it because they're not afraid of just moving guys and they never really get hyped up in the minor leagues, where they just keep finding these guys that have these? I mean, how you're talking about your teammates, like these outlier pitches and stuff, and then you have all these other teams with prospects, and it's like, whoa, 3 weeks and he could be coming up. He could be coming up in July, where the Rays are like, all right, dude's coming up right now.
Yeah, I think Honestly, it's finding, you find the guys with the plus stuff, and then you do your best to instill as much confidence in attacking the zone as you possibly can. And then, from there, and you're throwing the ball over the plate and you're building confidence, and that all just kind of compounds. And it leads to people like Garrett Clevenger and Mason Montgomery and Uceta and Manny. And I mean, we don't even have to get onto our starters and the run that they've been on, but it's instilling that confidence in doing what you're best at and then running it out there to see what you got.
Hey, Pete, how's clubhouse chemistry this year? I remember that being a little bit of a topic in spring training. I don't even remember who brought it up. Maybe it was Yandy, but I don't even remember if you can remind me. But I'm curious. And we had Erik Neander on the show for a while and asked him about it in spring training. But I mean, I'm sure you can tell us it's a real thing. And even if it's one particular incident that causes a problem, it could ruffle feathers for some time. So do you feel like the Rays are in a different spot from that perspective this year?
Yeah, we are significantly more cohesive as a unit than we were last year. And, anytime that you have that and you have people pulling on the same rope, it lends itself to success. And obviously, when you like the people and are on good terms with everybody that you're showing up to the ballpark with, that already sets you up ahead of where you would be if you dread going to the field every day.
Yep. All right, I got one more for you. Did you see the comments from Joe Ryan about the mound being hard in Sacramento? I mean, obviously, you guys have had to move to a different park for now, and Sacramento's getting a lot of attention for some of the playing conditions. Carlos Correa sat out the last couple games, said it was the worst batter's box he's ever experienced in his life. Just sounds like everything's causing an issue. Specifically, the Twins decided to speak out about it. Ryan said he thinks Pablo Lopez's shoulder injury could have come from that because it's all arms when he's pitching there. I know you haven't pitched there yet, but curious to get your take on how much that can affect things. Wheeler said the same thing when he pitched there. He was like, I had to be all arm. I couldn't get any grip.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is something that's you got to take into account. And I know that Sacramento summer is coming, and it's not going to get any you're not going to get any more moisture in the air out there once it starts getting real hot. So yeah, I mean, it's the same stuff that we've kind of had to adapt to a little bit with Steinbrenner. Obviously, Florida is a different case than Northern California in terms of that. But yeah, the park effects are real, and it's definitely something that when you're going to a spot that you have no experience in different weather than you're used to, et cetera. It is what it is, and you just kind of got to get used to it as you're going.
All right. Speaking of experiences, two things before I let you go. Fenway, the worst bullpen to deal with the fans because they are right on top of you. There are times I feel like you'd reach your arm back, the guy could grab you.
Yeah, I don't know. I traded a ball for a hot dog last night, so I'm having a pretty decent experience with the people out by the Fenway bullpen. Um, they're definitely the closest. I think probably there, and then out in Seattle when you're in the visitor pen and you're on the
Yeah.
backside, and you have people on the concourse that just decide to hang over while you're throwing, which is maybe it should be a little frowned upon, but they do it anyway.
Yeah, true. By the way, that was expensive. That was an expensive ball that guy got because it's like a $20 Fenway Frank.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. He definitely actually 25 if you want to buy it at like a Dick's or something. So it might have been a fair trade.
Mm-hmm. True. Strikeouts for Ellis. Talk about it. I know it's for your daughter
Mhm.
and your charity that you and your wife do for your daughter. So if you want to give a minute or two towards it, we're here for it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's we did our second Turner syndrome awareness kind of day at the ballpark. Had the there were actually a lot of people from the foundation are local to Tampa, so that worked out well. But we're just trying to raise some money, raise some awareness for Turner syndrome and kind of the impact it has on both miscarriages and then, the healthy babies that do make it. So yeah, we're trying to raise money right now. We got an auction running. It's on the Rays website. The link is in my bio. It's got some good experiences to bid on, some fun stuff to do. If you're into Legos and local in Tampa, start bidding. You can come build the Django Fett helmet with me. But yeah, it's something that's near and dear to our hearts, and we're doing our best to continue to get the word out and do what we can for them.
That's awesome, man. We'll blast
Awesome.
that out on all our socials too later on tonight. So thanks for sharing, dude, and always enjoy having you on. So hope you had fun. Keep doing your thing. We'll catch you in a few weeks.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Pete Fairbanks, Rays closer with us on FT. Be right back. We have Shohei Ohtani pitching news. You're like, not every week. Yes, every week we're giving away, this is me live right now, 2 tickets to a regular season game of your choice up to $400. Round 2 starts now. 1 winner, 2 free tickets up to $400, any game of your choice this season if you get the closest to the final score of Friday's Giants-Dodgers game. And you have to invite 1 friend to the FT chat to make a prediction as well. Whoever gets closest to each team's run total wins the tickets. Does that make sense? So it's not the total runs. We're going to look at who got closest to San Francisco's runs, who got closest to the Dodgers' runs, right? So you basically
the total runs.
Yeah, but isn't it different if you're so? For example, let's say it's 10-2 Dodgers. Hold on. 10-2 Dodgers.
Sorry.
Right?
Yes, continue.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But
Do you know what I'm saying?
It made it seem like
If you say it's going to be 10-2 Giants, you got the total runs right, but you missed on the teams. So we're giving you the teams.
oh, so you're making it really hard.
You're picking on me.
No, I'm just the
You're
way you
picking
explained it
on
made
me.
me think that like isn't that the same
He
thing?
stopped me in my tracks to make me think like I messed this up, but I didn't. If you
Kratz
say-
understood what I was saying. Kratz
Right.
agreed with me.
But
He
I
didn't
have
want
to
say it.
clarify for people because if someone says 10-2 and they end up thinking they got it right because of the total runs, they did not get it right. We're taking your score and seeing how close you got to each team's run total, and we'll see who wins that. If we have a tie, we will do a drawing with the tiebreaker.
So you
We'll
have to
announce
get
who
both
has it.
teams run total.
You don't have to get it exactly right because
Yeah, I understand.
whoever
that,
gets
but you have
closest.
to get it's each team.
yeah,
It's not just total runs.
correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's
Glad
not
we got
forget,
that
this is
clarified.
for 2 tickets. This is for 2 tickets. $400 a piece. Like,
No,
you're getting some.
No.
Hold on.
No,
You guys
whoa, Scott. No,
don't give
Scott.
away all my money.
Oh, jeez. No.
What did I say? 400 a piece? 400 total. 400 total.
400 a week. 400
That's
a
a-
week.
You're getting some great tickets. For 200 a piece, you are getting great tickets.
I think you can buy an entire Marlins Rockies game for $400. But if you'd like to
You
go
get
to
a
a good
section.
one, like Giants Dodgers,
You get a
probably
section.
can get a little primetime action. So
Anyway,
anyway,
you go to Sacramento and you can buy the whole outfield for that.
yeah, you can probably get them to put in a pool and get your own party suite. Factory.chat.
Marlins,
Very
you can go on
simple.
this ride on the statue.
Outside the park. Good luck. Ready for it?
Did we?
When will
is
show
that
throw?
the same music?
Of course,
Is
it's
that the
same
same
music.
music?
Oh, that's great.
By the way, I'm disappointed in producer lady because in the San Diego Chickens, she had Dave Roberts,
Yeah.
but she didn't have Freddie and Mookie and Teoscar.
I'm not
as the World
disappointed
Team.
at all.
Oh,
That was epic, producer
And by the way,
lady.
you had him in
Epic.
Toronto. What was that? Was that like a dig
was
at Toronto? That
Yes.
was throwing shade at Toronto.
yes. They were a
Wow.
finalist. And Dave Roberts played for the Padres.
So what does that have to do with it?
He has experience with the San Diego
We should have had
Chickens.
Pete Rose in there because he has experience with the chicken too.
Well, come on. There's a
Didn't the
connection
chicken
here.
beat Pete Rose up at WrestleMania or something?
Don't go all Ipe on me right now.
Okay.
Let's stay on task. Shohei Ohtani is expected to join the Dodgers rotation at some point next month. Alden Gonzalez tweeting yesterday that there's a slight chance it could occur before the All-Star break. The reason, his progress, but also the added roster spot. He can return as a 2 to 3 inning starter. That's the end of his tweet, I'll add. So that someone besides Kike Hernandez can eat up multiple innings to save the pitching
But the
staff.
key, you know what the key thing in that whole tweet was?
What?
The roster spot. He doesn't cost him a roster spot like a lot of other pitchers do. That's the key. That's why this is easier for the Dodgers than any other team to do because of that rule they put in with the two-way. You can still carry 13 pitchers and have Shohei on the team a two-way. So that's the key, the roster spot. He
Yeah.
can do this, and they don't, because most teams would have to, if they were trying to rehab a guy at the big leagues, they would lose another pitcher. But
Not
because
here.
of this rule, they don't.
Yeah, well, they're encouraging more unicorns, even though we haven't seen any.
Because it's like nearly impossible to do.
Exactly.
It's nearly impossible.
Jack Caglione throws 97, and they were like, dude, go hit dingers. Like, this is so hard to do. Like, it's the rule that they just made to just help the Dodgers win. It's unfair. It's unfair. The Dodgers just get everything.
Well, they're not going to win 130 games like some of you out
By
there
the way,
said.
listen, I'm the biggest Jack Caglione fan there is out there, but, pitching, no.
Not pitching.
No.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Hey, Dave Roberts said there's a, quote, north of 0 chance that Ohtani joins the rotation before the All-Star break. So do you think he will join the rotation before the All-Star break? To me, when they say that about Shohei, I actually kind of buy it. I'm like, but the only thing is, what are you going to do? You're going to have him do one outing?
Here's the only problem I
And then
have
wait.
with this whole thing is when I saw the Dodgers a couple weeks ago and I talked to some people that were kind of into it,
Yeah.
they were saying that he hasn't thrown breaking balls and he's really afraid to throw the split. He's just like most of his outings have been all heaters, right? He hasn't thrown sliders, he hasn't thrown cutters, he hadn't thrown curveballs, he hadn't thrown splits. So until he can get out there and actually do that, which maybe he's done his last couple outings, but this was a couple weeks ago and they were like, he will only throw fastballs. And he was supposed to throw breaking balls the next day because his outing got rained out the day I was there. And he still, I don't think, did it.
I think he has, but don't quote me on it. I mean, he had 44 pitches in his 3 simulated innings.
And by the way,
this week.
simulated inning is not the same.
I know. What did he throw, Kratz? What do you know?
He
I
threw
didn't
a
watch
few
it.
breaking balls. That one day they counted how many breaking balls he threw in his side session. But I don't think he's thrown it on the mound against hitters yet.
Okay. So what do you think is going to happen? He's not going to use those pitches?
No, I'm just saying, like, he needs to be able to throw those pitches before he gets out there, Scott.
He's all fastballs now.
That's fine. There's guys that did that.
There are.
Lance Lynn did that for years.
He did.
And someone throw 100 pitches and throw one little breaking ball, and the rest were 4-seamers or 2-seamers.
Hey, Snell and Glass now threw bullpen sessions on Tuesday as well.
Okay. Huh? Good luck,
Maybe that's why
Dodgers.
Dalton Rushing. That's why Dalton Rushing's up and sitting on the bench, so they can have a big league catcher rehabbing all of their rehabbing pitchers.
Yeah, I mean he's exhausted. He's working with quite the staff. He gets to catch aces even when it's not a game play for him, right? Even when he's not starting.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll keep you posted. The music lives forever. Be right back.
Disappointed.
When will Show throw?
BetMGM locks. I lost. AJ lost. Kratz won. Cubs won. Mets and Nats went over 7.5. Plus 252 piece, Kratz. We told you go big. Didn't we tell him go big yesterday?
We did. We totally did.
Or is that the day
I
before?
won $252.
No, it was yesterday. We said go big, Kratz, and you said no. And then that's
And
what
I
you
won $252. I feel like that's going big.
It is. It is. We're proud of you.
did. I mean, it's big for you.
Yeah, you're picking up the pace. I'm falling a bit. Kratz, do you want to lead us off?
Yeah. I'm just going to go the money line parlay. And I think it's plus 185. Dodgers, Twins. Money line on both games. Both lost last night. I feel like the pitching matchup plays well for both. And there is a good chance. I was going to go run line with both, but I went money line with both. So Dodgers, Twins, money line.
Boom. There you go. I'm going with a money line pick. I'm trying to get back to just what I normally do. Been getting cute with some other options here. So Tigers, money line. I locked it in at plus 105 against the Orioles. Eflin versus Casey Mize.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers play really well on the road. Mize's road numbers have been good. Eflin's home numbers are actually not as good. Am I missing something there? That it's an even money game? That the
F1.
Tigers are dogs?
But you'll see my lock. I went against you too.
What? What'd you do?
I went Eflin under 17.5 outs because I don't think he's going to make it through 6 innings against the Tigers lineup.
Wait, you didn't go against me. You're with me.
Well, yeah, sorry.
We're together.
I went with you on that.
What am I missing there
I don't
on
know.
that one?
I don't know. Tigers at home?
No,
and
Tigers
the Lions.
on the road.
I mean, Tigers,
They're in
sorry, on the
Baltimore.
road, sorry.
Which Baltimore this year is, I don't know if you've seen, it's swung back. It is a humongous hitter's advantage again. It's a top 3 park
Hold on, let me see what the weather's doing.
for hitters. Yeah, check out the weather. But what am I missing, Kratz?
And the line's moving now. Now it's at plus 115. So
Ooh.
I don't know what we're missing. Maybe they
out.
think Cedric Mullins. Maybe they think Cedric Mullins coming back and Jake Westberg coming back. The Orioles are going to get hot. I'm tailing it. I like it.
I'll go 200, please, tonight. 200 to win 210.
Wind's blowing out at Oriole Park. Big time.
I'm watching that game. I want to get 2 in here. So first one, MRI, stress reaction, Aaron Nola, right rib cage, according to manager Rob Thompson. Nola's shut down for a couple weeks at least, and it's, according to Matt Gelb's tweet, a rather significant setback that probably means he does not return until after the All-Star break. Kratz, your thoughts?
I mean, this is not good for a rotation. Any rotation, when you lose a guy, some people will say, hey, he had 2 good starts all year, so maybe that was bothering him before. Obviously, you need to have as many starters as you can. You're not going to throw 5 guys in the playoffs. So when he gets back, if he is not back, like, what are they going to do? If he's back to what he was doing at the beginning of the year, how are they going to integrate him in? Because they have a great depth of starting pitching that has stayed, for the most part this year, healthy. Taijuan Walker's bouncing in and out. It's not great. I don't know what they missed before the stress reaction, but thankfully they got it right now, and they found the right pictures.
This just sucks. I mean, he's been one of the most durable guys for a long time. This just sucks. There's no other. It sucks. Hopefully he gets back and gets right, but right now their starting rotation is holding the fort down. They're beating the Cubs today, so Sanchez has been good. Luzardo's been good. Wheeler's been what Wheeler does. I mean, they've been okay. So, not the worst thing in the world, not the worst team in the world for this to happen to because of the depth. But it still sucks for Aaron Nola because he's a good fellow.
He is a good fellow. This one I think really hurts. Matt Chapman IL'd, sprained right hand, hopes to be back before the end of the first half. And he was really starting to swing it well. The Giants are on fire. I know now they're running into the Rockies, that gauntlet in Coors Field where they came back and totally rockied the Rockies. They have 6 consecutive wins by 1 run, tied for second in MLB history. Only other team with more, 1927 Cubs, 7 in a row.
That game last night was 89 Angels.
Last team to do 6 in a row. There's a bunch of teams that have done 6 in a row. 89 Angels, of course, the 1916 Browns, the 1897 Boston Bean Eaters. Thank you, Sarah Langs, for looking all that up. Yeah, loved the Bean Eaters.
Big Bean Eater fan.
Yeah, love the bean.
But what
the Giants are on a heater.
My thing is, I want to see, because the Giants' ERA is awesome. Remember the last team Chapman was on that he left? The Blue Jays? They led baseball in ERA, starting rotation ERA. They made the playoffs. I want to see what this does to their ERA just over the span, whatever he's gone, however long he's gone. I think teams undervalue elite defense at third base.
Yeah, it depends on your pitching. It depends on your pitching staff. By the way, that 9th inning last night, the way they scored was like leadoff homer. You're like, fine, but then it was walk, single, and Wilmer Flores got an infield single to tie the game. Then Yaz got the hit. But you want to know how you win games, guys? Don't walk people, especially in the 9th inning.
Rocky's gonna Rocky.
I mean, they're 12-54 though. 12-54.
You know who's back and has been a huge help for the Giants? Camilo Doval.
Yeah.
One of the best closers in baseball again.
Yeah.
And it was quick, right? I mean, didn't he get optioned last year?
Yes.
He's got a 1.45 in 32 appearances, racking up saves, 10 saves for the Giants.
Now they have two closers. Now they have two closers.
I mean, in 2023, I think he was an all-star. He had 39 saves and a 2.93 ERA. Last year was close to a 5 mark. He's back, baby. Big help. Big help.
We back.
Yeah.
Duval's back.
Giants are winning close games. Shocker. Usually when you look at teams with good one-run records, their bullpen's good.
The Giants win games. They've been doing it for years. We talk about it all the time. They win walk-offs on Little League home runs. A guy will throw a wild pitch. A guy will, I don't know, there'll be a pop-up. The guy will drop it for some reason. They'll forget the infield fly and 3 runs will score because they think the game's over. I mean, it's like any way they'll balk. I mean, whatever you can come up with, the Giants figure out a way, especially at home, to win these close games. They've done it for years.
They have. It sounds like someone who played for the team.
What's up, my people of FT Nation, all the beautiful people of FT. It's your boy Parlay Pap coming to you. But I'm just going to be Pick'em Pap today, coming to you live from Boston. And I don't know if we are going to be a sucker on this one or not, but the Royals are at home, and Bubik is throwing lights out this year, and the Royals are plus money to win at home. And anytime I get plus money for the home team, and they playing the Yankees, I'm taking it. So let's get that cheese. We're going to put 100 on it, and it's plus 105 for the Royals. It may change because I don't know about this line, but we're going to put 100 on it, and let's get that cheese. Peace.
Love that, Pap. I was on BetQL this morning, and they blitzed me with a bunch of things, and they were like, give me something for tonight real quick. And when I looked at the schedule quick, that's where I went to. I'm like, I bet you'll find value with the Royals. They can keep up with the Yanks. Coming off a blowout loss yesterday to Fried, a little easier against Clarke Schmidt, who's just been okay this year, and Bubic has been insane. So there's your picks. They're all on the board. Do we have home run picks?
Yeah, by the way, I didn't get to tell my pick, so mine was Robbie Ray over punch-outs because he's
I forgot about you.
I gave half of it, but it's fine. Producer lady doesn't listen. It's fine. Anyways, that's
on
I'm
the
like
board.
plus 4 something.
We tweet these out every day, too. It's on the board.
By the way, I'm like plus 410 or something on mine.
It's
I went
plus
2
410.
pluses. I went 2 pluses.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's crazy. All right. Now,
What was your Robbie
my
Ray?
home run. Yeah, Robbie Ray over 7.5 punchies versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out the most in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Robbie Ray
Will
punches
his pitches
out a lot of people.
change at all?
What's that?
Will his pitches change in Denver?
I mean, he throws fastballs and sliders. I
So
mean,
he's good.
he's throwing big, sloppy curving balls.
Right. Okay.
By the way, my home run
Less-
pick, I'm picking it every time. Go ahead. I'm picking him every time until he hits one. Jack Caglione, plus 850. By the way.
Wow. Plus 850.
Yeah, against Piece of Schmidt, I feel like that's a good matchup.
Lefty, righty.
Yeah.
Could be good.
In that park, I like that with Jack. I'm going in the same realm. Roman Anthony's getting his first dinger today. Facing Zach Littell, who's given up, I think, the second or third most homers this year of any pitcher in baseball. So let's get that cheese, plus 650.
And if your home run bet does not work out, there's an MLB home run no sweat token. Activate it. If the bet doesn't happen, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets. Go check it out on the BetMGM app. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's slap.
Huh. All you Cub fans out there that said he was a Cub fan, you know what you can do. As DX said, we got 2 words for you, and I'm going to let you finish it.
Wow.
But it involves this motion.
The Pope
Because
is
there it is.
a White Sox fan.
That's right. There it is.
That's a real picture, right? Not
Yeah,
Photoshop?
no, that's a real picture of him at the Vatican.
Okay.
So now the next question is, how do I get my pass to the Vatican? I'll fly there. I'll pay for it. Well, FT will
He
pay
knows
for it.
you.
FT will pay for it.
He knows you.
Clearly.
So
That's what I'm saying.
make some phone calls.
Who do I pick up and call? Because I'll call him right now.
You do the chain.
I called Torii Hunter today. Got him.
The priest chain. You talk to the one priest who has a larger, or, what's the order? What's the names? The archdiocese?
Priest, bishop, deacon.
Go up the ladder.
Priest, bishop, cardinal.
There you go.
Pope.
So call one, and then he
Do you
keeps
know one?
calling his
Because I
boss.
mean, I don't know a cardinal.
No,
I can't call Ollie Marmol and be like, hey, get me in touch with the.
You call up a priest, and then he calls the next one you just talked about. Then he calls the next one. It's going to take a little
When
time.
I get to Chicago, I'll figure this out. In July. By August, I'll have my meeting with the Pope. He'll
Yes.
bless me.
Boom. There you go. We're done today. Kratz hat's on the way out.
Hurry
If you
up,
want to
Kratz
shout it
hat.
out to the world.
That's gotta be
No,
the
no, the Pope already did Kratz hats. I mean, I can't do Kratz hats after the Pope's already done
Oakland.
Pope hats. Oh,
The A's.
That was the A's.
Yeah.
Pope,
The homeless
Pope's
A's.
hat. Pope's hat was Kratz hats. Can't do it.